Hello everyone. So I assume you have already done with the score dividends or how IELTS really calculate your score. Now we're going to talk about the questions, because questions is everything. We generally don't give the importance to the question, and that's how we don't really miss the score in writing test 2 or writing module. We also get surprised. I have listened from a lot of students, they are saying like they miss the score and then like, why did I miss the score? So they get surprised because what question really ask you, if you can't really mention that, if you can't really discuss that, extend that in the answer of your writing task, you will not get the score. It is very important. So let's go and try to find out what really we need to find out from the questions. And first and foremost, let's say first and foremost, what you really give the value is the question. I am telling you again and again. Let's say this is a question from IELTS writing task 2 from Cambridge 19. See, generally, if you can remember in your school college days, you needed to write essays, right? You need to write essay. Maybe those essay you need to write about a specific topic. For say, journey by train, journey by boat. I mean, journey by anything, and then deforestation, tree plantation, right? These are the topic you used to write. But the problem is here in writing test 2, you also need to write an essay, but they are giving you a question, a fatty one, a very big question, right? So it's sometimes it's difficult for the students, but ultimately if you look at the instructions, so these are the questions you will going to get in your exam. A box, in the box that will be the question, and before the box, after the box, it is instructions. So make sure you have read the instruction properly while practicing. In the time of exam, you don't really read that because you already know it will be same. If you move like any other writing test 2 questions, instructions will always gonna be the same. The first thing they have given you, you should spend. So it's not mandatory. They are giving you some time, like 20 minutes for task 1, 40 minutes for task 2. But I always prefer students to take the preparation for, say, for task 1, you should finish it in around 18 minutes. In task 2, you should finish it in around 35 minutes. Now, it's very important. You should practice. There is a time called exam consuming time. Exam consuming time. In the time of exam, you will be in little bit of tension, right? So it's very difficult for a student to implement all of their effort, all of their capability in the time of exam. There will be some time will be consumed automatically, and a revision is very important. If you look at your writing, you make a lot of mistakes, maybe just a spelling mistake, but whenever you make the mistake, teacher bound to decrease some of your score, and that's really happen. You see, whatever I have seen a lot of papers from the students, whatever they want to get or whatever they should have get, they always get at least 0.5, at least 0.5 score less. So it's very important you revise. Whenever you are doing that, you revise your copy. Okay, so let's go the question. See, in the first instruction and the second instruction, they're saying write about the following topic. So it's very important you find out the main topic. Although they are giving you a full question, but they want you to write about a topic. It's very important. Look at it. Write about the following topic. So your first job is to find out that topic. It's very important. These are the rules you will follow. So whenever you will start the writing test 2, the first thing you need to do, main topic. Find out the main topic of the question. Very important. So let's read this question and find out the main topic. The question is many countries. So see, in many countries, they're not saying all the countries in the world or some countries. They're saying many countries. You need to understand these terms. If you don't understand these terms, maybe you will write something wrong, because when you will answer this question, you cannot say this is happening all over the world, because they are not asking for it. They're asking for you talk about a lot of countries in the world, not just 1-2 countries, not just all countries. So make sure. Nowadays, so they want you to talk about recent times. They don't want you to talk about like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, or what will going to happen 100 years later on. They don't want you that they want you to talk about nowadays, the recent time. So give value each word of your question. Consumers can go to a supermarket. So see, consumer means who buy the things, people, we, me, you, right? So consumers means people can go to a supermarket. So they're telling about the supermarket. Don't just a shop, not from online, just supermarket. So you just talk about the supermarket, and buy food produce all over the world, right? All over the world. So main topic we can say here, we need to talk about the globalizations, but we cannot talk about all aspect of the globalization. We need to talk about the international product, right? So international product. That's your main topic, isn't it? International product. But the problem is you cannot say, so people are buying international product from the supermarket, so you cannot say they are buying from online. So another supermarket, so international product, supermarket, this is your topic. You cannot go out of it. You cannot write something that don't really refer to the international product or supermarket. You need to talk just about it, because you cannot say it is good, it is a positive development, even people order online, right, and get the product at their home. They don't want it. They don't want you to talk about it. They don't want you to write about it. They want you to write about the international product and the supermarket. So you can just get any kind of lot of international product in the supermarket that is nearest to you, and then they're saying this is a positive or negative level, right? So first thing is main topic. Find out the main topic. This is your first job. You are done with that, right? Main topic. You find out, okay, this is my main topic. And then after that, what you will going to do here, when you find out the main topic, you understand the question properly, what to cover, what not to cover, right? And write it down. I am telling you, when you are taking the notes, write it down. Don't just put it on your mind. You will not be able to remember. It's super important. What you need to cover. So they're saying you will get the idea what you need to cover from the last portion of the question. So in the last portion of the question, like, do you think this is a positive or negative development, right? So they're saying it. Like in other question types, let me show you. Here you can see there are some question types you will going to get in the time of exam. Like you will get one, but there are 4 or 5. Out of them you will get one. Like, to what extent do you agree or disagree? So there is one question type, agree, disagree. And there are another question type, discuss both views. This is another question type. Advantage, disadvantage is another question type. And then there are another question type is cause and solution, right? Suggest some measures, cause and solution. And another question type is multiple. There is another question types, advantage, disadvantage, or positive, negative. It's kind of same, but not exactly. I'm going to show you what to do for both. But here, advantage, disadvantage, no. Here they're talking about positive or negative. Here the students make some mistakes. They take the decisions. First you need to take the decisions, what you can do. Okay, first thing first, you cannot talk about positive, negative both. You cannot talk about, some people will say, okay, I think positive, so I'm gonna talk positive more, I'm gonna say negative more. No, they don't want you that. See, there's a difference between or and. First step, I have taken you to a room. In the first scenario, I have given you first step a Coke, and second scenario I have given you first a 7-Up. Same in the first scenario I have given you Coke, 7-Up. Second scenario same, Coke. It is not Calvin Klein, it is Coke, and this is 7-Up. Okay, done. So in the first one, see, in the first one I have said or. What I have said? I have said or. In the second one, I didn't say or, I said and. Okay, I said and. So see, in the first scenario, think about it. In the first scenario, can you really choose both? Can you choose Coke, also 7-Up? No, you need to choose one, because or, right? You cannot choose both, you choose one. But in the second one, you don't have the options. You can't just choose one, you need to choose both. You need to choose Coke, you need to choose 7-Up. So look at the question here. They're saying or. Even for agree, disagree, they are saying or, right? If they say or, then you write one. If they say and, then you write two. Simple, okay? And when you write one, you just write one in the whole passage. When you talk about the positive, you talk about the positive in the whole passage. You talk about the negative in the whole passage. Okay, all right. So done. And the first thing is finding out the main topic. Second thing is understand the question properly. That we have done already. Like many countries, so you need to think, okay, I don't need to talk about all the countries in the world or just one country in the world. And nowadays, so I need to talk about the recent times. See, you making your plans, so it's very important. I cannot talk about 50 years ago, 100 years ago, or I should not talk about like 100 years later what will going to happen. I need to talk about a lot of countries in the world and which is from the present time, right? I'm going to talk about the situation which is from the present time or recent time at least. Then people can go to the supermarket, so I need to stick myself about the supermarket. I cannot talk about like a small shop or online. No, we cannot talk about that. And buy international product, food produce all over the world. So now your plan is very good, your plan is done, right? You know what to cover. So you will cover either positive or negative, right? International product, people are getting international product from the supermarket, so you're going to talk about the positive and negative or of it, either positive or negative. So most people take the decision emotionally. Okay, I think it is positive, then they start taking the notes of positives. And some students will gonna say, okay, nah, I think it's negative, so you start taking notes about the negatives. My suggestion is to take the notes for both, right? Take the notes for both, and after taking the notes, then take the decision what we're going to do. You don't take the decision based on the feelings of your, okay, I think it is positive, I think it is negative. No, you don't take the decision based on that. You take the decision based on with what you can write more. With what you can write more. If you can write more with the positive, you say it is positive. If you can write more with the or good with the negative, then you say it is negative. Simple as that. So let's try to do that. Okay, whenever you will, then you will take the notes. Okay, all right. So let's see, this is another question. So we'll go through some questions, multiple questions, right? 3, 4, 5 questions. So it will going to help us. It is important for people to take risk both in their professional lives and their personal lives. Advantage of taking risk outweigh the disadvantage. See, here they're saying taking risk. So you need to, the main topic of this question is taking risk. You cannot talk something else which is not related to taking risk. So you need to talk about the taking risk in professional life and taking risk in personal life. They also want you to talk about the advantage and disadvantage, isn't it? So means advantage means positive side, disadvantage means negative side. So when you will describe, you must talk about the positive sides of professional and personal life. You also need to talk about the negative sides of personal and professional lives. It's very important. So now you cover what to cover, right? Now you know, okay, now I know what things I will need to cover. Now you need to make some segment. Okay, what I'm gonna write in my body 1, what I'm gonna write in my body 2. Now you make the segment. First, say some people will say, okay, I'm gonna talk about in the body 1, I'm gonna talk about the, see, still we didn't start writing, still we are in the planning. So don't think about, okay, what I'm gonna write. So don't think about that. Make your plan good. If you have a good plan, you can write better, because ultimately what you will going to write, whatever in your head, in your neuron, that is what you will going to write, right? What is your plan? Based on your plan, you will going to write. So it's mandatory, it's essential, important to make a good plan. The better your plan is, the better your writing will be. Simple. So let's try to make a very good plan so that you can write better. Here, see, in body 1, some people will say, okay, I'm going to talk about the professional life in the body 1. Means positive side, taking risk of positive sides in professional life, taking risk of negative side in professional life. Then in the body 2, personal life, positive sides of taking risk in personal life, negative sides of taking risk in personal life. Another person will going to say, no, I'm going to talk about the positive sides in body 1. Means positive sides of taking risk in professional life, positive sides of taking risk in personal life in body 1. In body 2, negative sides of taking risk in professional life, negative sides of taking risk in personal life. So you will going to divide it based on your strength point 100%. Okay, so see here, this student thought, okay, I'm going to talk about, this is not me who wrote it, it is written by a student. Okay, so I'm just showing you, it was very good notes taken by that student of mine. So see here in body 1, they're giving you this student thought, okay, I'm going to talk about the positive sides in body 1. So professional life, positive sides of taking risk in professional life, positive sides of taking risk in personal life. Okay, all right. So that student thought career growth. So some people, what they do, maybe when you will going to abroad, you will do the same. So what you will do, maybe you will do your education, maybe your master's, sometimes bachelor. In the meantime, you will also doing your job. So in Bangladesh, generally in some countries, what they do, first say they finish their bachelor, and after they start a job, but they thought, okay, I have done the job, but I need to finish my master's too. So in that time, what they did, or what generally a lot of people do, okay, they take the admission in the master's, but in the time they are also doing the job. So it's a risk now, because if you just doing a job, you are also doing a master's, there is a probability you might lose your job because of your performance. You might not get a good result in your master's. So that can happen. It's a risk ultimately. But what happens for some people, they keep doing their job, they finish their master's, get a good score, and they apply for the better job, they move there. That also happens, at least sometimes. So see, they're saying this kind of career growth thinking or taking risk can really bring some positive side in your life. So that's what he's talking about the professional life. What about the personal life? So that person is married. that person is married and she had a child. So she thought, getting married is a risk, because you don't really know what will going to happen, right? Maybe, okay, having a relationship and going to married, it's not the same thing. It's a risk. You really don't know what will going to happen after 5-10 years, right? It's super difficult to just judge, okay, this is what will going to happen. So it's a risk ultimately. But what happens with her, from her experience, she thought, okay, when I get married, I didn't really know what will going to happen, but right now after some years we have a kid. I'm talking about her. We have a kid and we're really having a very good time. I am doing my job, my husband is doing the job. So what happens, whenever any benefit, that gets double, because we are incoming both, so that gets double. But a lot of things, whenever I face problem, he helps me. So what happens, the problems get half nearly, and the benefits getting double. And whenever we get bored, we have a kid, we are having good time with that person. So it's a risk, but it can really bring some good things in your personal life. So that's the notes. And about the negative sides, she said about the professional lives, she said career changing. What some people do, maybe they're doing a job, good or bad, they're doing a job, so they just take the resign from the job, so to start something. Maybe they're going to start a new business, a startup, or even sometimes a new job. What happens, sometimes they get success, some other times, at least for some people, what happens, they failed in the next one too. So they lose their previous job, they failed in the next one too. Maybe it can job, it can their business. So their life became miserable, right? It became career threat. So they said, okay, this kind of career changing thinking or taking risk, if you take this kind of risk, it might really backfire. That's what he said. About the personal life, she was talking about the migration, like you will going to abroad, right? Migration. So she said, see, I am having a very good life in my country, where I am having my family, my friends, my relatives to help me whenever I need, and even my child, he is really now comfortable with his community, with his friends. I really don't know how he will going to react in abroad, how he will going to react in totally new place. Will he be able to really cope or not? And whenever I will gonna need some help from the people here, I have my friends, I have my family, I have my relatives even, but I really don't know this kind of help I'll be gonna get there or not. If I don't get there, how I am gonna survive? So it might be a success, but there is no surety. It might backfire sometimes, because cultural diversity is there, no certainty is there. So that's the saying. So migration can be a risk in your life. So that's what they're saying. See, now think about two things. Now you really know, right, what to write. Now think about two things. One, I just give you the question. And told you to write, and you start writing. Think about it. Like 10 minutes before, I just give you the question and told you to write, you start writing. And now, after taking notes, this kind of notes, after taking notes, it's very simple words, right? Maybe 5 minutes you're gonna take to write those notes. So after taking notes, now I am gonna tell you, okay, now write about it. With what you can write better, 10 minutes before or now? Ask yourself. So that's how I'm sure the answer should be the yes. So that's how the importance of you taking notes. Whenever you will take the notes, your writing will be very good. Because if you don't take notes, what happens sometimes with the students? Sometimes they just write one sentence, they don't know what to write after that. It's super important you understand the question, you take the notes. It's very important. Okay, so that's, let me revise you the plan. First, whenever you read the question, you write the main topic. Okay, this is my main topic. After that, you try to understand the question properly, 100%, not 99%, 100%. What to write, what not to write. I'm gonna write about supermarket, I'm not gonna write about online, this kind of thing. Then write it down, what to cover, what things you will need to cover, write it down. Then do the segment. Okay, this I'm gonna write in body 1, this I'm gonna write in body 2. After that, you do the segment, you know that. Then after that, you will gonna have the body 1. What you will gonna write in the body 1, make at least 2 points. What you will going to write in the body 2, make at least 2 points. It's important, mainly because it is important. A lot of students don't know the importance of the topic sentence. So I'm going to discuss later on, but think about it. Taking notes is super important. So I'm telling you again about the taking notes of writing test 2. Main topic, understand the question properly, cover everything, write it down. Don't just keep it in your mind. Do the segmentation. This I'm going to write in body 1, this I'm going to write in body 2, and what you're going to write in the body 1, take at least 2 points. Okay, this is what I'm going to say, like the one I have showed you. like, okay, about the positive sides I'm going to talk about the career growth, I'm going to talk about the relationships. Negative sides I'm going to talk about the changing career, I'm going to talk about the migration. This kind of notes you need to have, so that it will guide you in the best way possible. So that's how you take the notes. After that we're going to start, but before you start you need these notes 100%. Okay, so I'm gonna see you in the next class with how you can start your writing based on your notes. Okay, till then, goodbye.